And hello, everyone. Welcome back into this week's edition of Jacket Vision here on TV 24. I'm Mickey Shadricks. Oxford Yellow Jackets on the road last Friday night, 6A Region 7 championship game over at Pete Rich Stadium in Pell City. The Jackets dominate Pell City, win the game 37-3 to improve to 9-0 overall. Gives Oxford a 7-0 region record as they wrap up region play and gives the Yellow Jackets a region championship. I'm joined now by Oxford head coach Ryan Herring. Coach, a great game with a big rival, region championship on the line for you guys, and it wasn't even close. I mean, I don't know if you anticipated this when you went into this game. Your defense was as good as probably they've been all year. Not only did they shut Pell City down, they forced a number of turnovers, which gave your offense more opportunities. They cashed in on that. 37-3, just a dominating win over a good Pell City team.
Well, when your defense is giving you the ball like ours did several times Friday night, you always have a good chance to win. And finally, they gave it to us early, and we had to settle for some field goals and field goal attempts. And, we wasn't really cashing in like we should have early, but finally we got rolling on offense and had to open the playbook up a little bit. And things started rolling, and, it was a great night for Oxford.
Were you surprised at the separation? Was this, or let me ask this, was this your best game of the season? Because going in, it really appeared that you and Pell City were the two best teams in this region, but that's a big separation in score. Is this your best game that you've put together in all three phases?
It probably is, because Pell City had a lot of good players out there. They had some of the biggest kids I've ever seen, a 390-pound nose guard who was athletic, quick as a cat, big defensive ends. They were bigger than us, and we've got about three real big kids on the offensive line this year, and they had three guys that were kind of bigger than our guys, so we wasn't used to that. They presented a challenge as far as running right at them. We wanted to try to run right at them, and at times we did, and at times we didn't. But I knew it was going to be a tough game. I just wanted to win by 1 point. That was my goal going into the game, win by 1 point. And we ended up winning by 34, so I was real happy and pleased. And it was a great night for the kids and the fans and everybody there. It was a good night for Oxford football.
All right, tell me about the scene in the locker room after the game, because you've got some good seasoned veterans. You got a few of those, but you got a ton of young kids who really took it on the chin last year in that tough region and that tough schedule. What was it like in that locker room after clinching the region championship?
Well, it was a great time to exhale, to decompress, because we had told these kids since we started. We gave them a couple of days off last year after the season, and we told them, look, guys, it was a tough year, but we're fixing to go to work, and if you're willing to do what we're fixing to do up until next year, we're going to have a great year next year. We didn't say we're going to be 9-0, 10-0 region champs. We just said we're going to have a great year next year if you're willing to jump on ship, jump in, and go to work. And it just felt good to see those kids, what they've put into it, what we've asked them to do, and then they get rewarded with a region championship. You don't, because that don't always work out that way. And it was very, very awesome to see those guys really enjoy that moment.
And I'm sure you look like a genius with the way the schedule is set up this year. I'm sure you're happy about how it works out, because now you're off this week. You've got a Sumter Central team last week of the regular season that they've really struggled this year. So an opportunity for your kids to wrap up a perfect 10-0 season.
Yeah, win the region championship and then get a week off, because they went however many weeks without a break, and now they get a week off after a big, huge win, and you got playoffs coming up in 2 weeks, basically. So, it was a great time for an open week. And things don't always work out the way you plan them, but I think this year it's worked out great. It's a great time to have a week off, to get healed up, to get rested up. And then game 10, we've got Sumter Central coming in here who, just looking at their record and having a great year. So, it looks like we could be real fresh going in the playoffs, which is what you won't need. Some teams game 10 have a rival game or have a tough game, and so maybe we'll be a little fresher than some teams going into the playoffs.
And that 10-0 carrot to dangle in front of your kids when you're playing a 1-8 team, that's a good motivator, isn't it?
I tell you what, it's nice to have opportunity to be 10-0. I've only coached on one team that went 10-0, and I've been doing it 18 years, so it doesn't happen all the time. So these kids have really, they've done something great and are in the process of doing something great right now. So it's just fun to have this week off, to sit back, smell the roses, and enjoy what's going on, but at the same time also take a deep breath and get ready, because we hopefully have a big run coming.
All right, we'll take a break and come back with highlights of the game on Friday night out at Pell City as we continue here on Jacket Vision. All right, Oxford fans, the Oxford City Schools Education Foundation and Samco have teamed up to give you a great and easy opportunity to support the Oxford City School System. Next time you purchase your full tank of gas, go by the Samco located at the corner of Caffey Drive and Highway 78 East in Oxford. That is the Samco Texaco station. And Samco will donate 1 cent per gallon to the Oxford City Schools Education Foundation, who does great work within the Oxford City School System. Out to Pete Rich Stadium now. First half highlights: Yellow Jackets and Pell City Region Championship game. Huge crowd, great atmosphere, Coach.
Well, it was. Our crowd showed up, and Pell City had a big crowd and started the game off right here. Jack Peavy almost took this thing all the way back. Guy got a hold of him right there, but great way to start the game. Great blocking on kickoff return. Here we are. We get stopped real quick, though. Have to settle for a field goal right here. Bo Relly puts us up on top 3-0. So, you know, we like to get 7, but getting 3 is still important. Right here, they cut through on us a little bit right here, find a little honey hole, but we get that picked up, and Jordan Swain makes a great tackle. Here we are right here. They tried a little outside zone read deal, and Brody Sire picked it up, took it all the way back. The only thing is we had an idiot 30 yards back, blocked behind the ball, so negated that. Hopefully we can get that junk cleaned up. Here we are, a little toss sweep to Titus, getting a few yards. Good blocking right there. Great job by Connor on the edge. Right here, gets a piece of it. I just think we got to get it off quicker. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think we're a little slow getting that one off. But we'll get that fixed. Here we are on defense again, causing a fumble. Number one, their tailback had really ran his mouth on Facebook, so it was good to see him fumble the ball. There's good job running the ball right there again, but we fumble it. Luckily, Hareem jumps on it. Run a little bootleg right here, try to catch him off guard and hit Connor in the end zone. Great job by Abe booting and finding Connor, and Connor's wide open, does a great job of catching the ball. Here they are, a little GT play right here. The line right there's got to make that play. He should have made that play. Here we are coming off the edge. Brody's a little slow right there, but boom. Kenny and Kendall come up and finish the guy off right here. Here we are. We go a little play action, hit a ream over the top. We thought it would be there, and it's been there all year, but great job by Abe getting the ball to him. Great job by Hareem making the catch. Here we are, a little keep by Abe on the edge right here. Man, that works pretty. And you can tell he can run as fast as he needs to. I found out he doesn't run the same speed all the time. He just runs as fast as he needs to. And great job blocking right there, too. They run a little misdirection play right here, and Kendall plays it perfect. Hits the guy right in the mouth. Counter boot right here. Here's Brody again. Brody just had an unbelievable night, just coming off the edge right there. He looked like a Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker making plays. Here we are. We got him 3rd and forever, and we just, make a bad call right here. We're getting man coverage. We need to be in zone right there, but that's something we'll get fixed. They try a little handoff throwback right here, and I think they got a little cute and end up losing the ball right there. But great job by the defense of getting on it. It's one thing for them to fumble, but it's another thing for you to get on it. Here's a little razzle-dazzle. We fake the buck sweep this way, give it to Titus. He pitches it back to Jack on reverse, then Jack throws it to Abe, and there's Abe doing what Abe does. Getting skinny and making plays and just kind of gliding. Abe looks like he's gliding, but I think he's moving a little faster than what people realize. Here we are on kickoff right here. Boom, right there. Jordan Swain and Braylon Gadsden hit the guy, number one, make him fumble. I think Brody gets on it. That was a huge play right there. I think that play right there just kind of gave us all the momentum we needed going into halftime and going into the second half. Just to kind of say, hey, I think we've got a better team here tonight.
23-0 at the half. You definitely have them on the ropes, and really physical effort by your defense, Coach. They gave up under 250 yards of total offense the entire game. Of course, when you're creating that many turnovers, you're limiting how many snaps they get, but very physical effort. Watching those highlights, you guys were laying some licks on them.
Yeah, my dad was at the game, and one thing he commented on was it really looked like old Oxford football. You could hear the licks at the game, and I know on the sideline I could hear them real well. But we had a lot of people running and hitting, and when you run and hit, you block and tackle, and you're the most physical team. Most time, you end up winning the game, and I think we separate ourselves right there, especially on that last kickoff right there, running and hitting and knocking the ball loose. That means something in football. Everybody thinks football's changed a lot, but I'm telling you, the team that runs and hits, they have an advantage in a football game still today. So, contrary to what some people think, football hasn't totally changed. It's still about hitting, and I think we hit well Friday night.
All right, we'll come back with second half highlights in a moment. As we go to break, let's listen in to the Oxford High School Marching Band. And back on Jacket Vision, second half, Oxford with a 23-0 lead heading into the third quarter.
Here we are, first kickoff right there, boom, and Jordan Swain levels the guy. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of Jordan to see him. He has grown up so much, especially hitting the way he's hitting people. And there's another great sack right there by Brody Sire. I thought the guy was going to get away. Brody was active all night for us. They do a good job right here on the third down of completing the ball right there. Here we are right here. Boom, stop him in the backfield. Just a great job of running to the ball right there. You see three guys hit him at the same time. That's huge. Here we are here, run the lead play. It hadn't really worked great all night. And we were waiting on it to open up, and we called them slant and strong, which we thought they would, and we bent it back off that. And that was a great job right there by Titus. Great job by the offensive line. Here we are getting pressure over here again. We didn't do a good job of playing that running back out of the backfield. That's the only thing we did wrong right there. The outside backer needed to stay with that and absorb that, and we didn't, but that's something we can get fixed easy. Pressure right here off the edge again. We had about three guys just barely miss him. But great hustle. I still like the hustle, like the effort. I just hate they got these 3 points right here. We wanted a goose egg. I wanted my head shaved after the game, and too bad the boys didn't get a chance to shave my head. But still, it's a good job of holding them to three. Here's Abe right here. This is Abe I'm talking about. He's going to run just fast enough that you don't catch him. And you can tell right there, he just, he may not look like he's flying, but he is moving. When you can go 60, 70 yards, in 6A from just running the speed option, you're moving. We don't do a good job right here walling out that receiver, and they get a big gain over the middle. But, those kind of things happen late in the game. We're just trying to make sure they don't get anything over our head. Good job right there breaking up on the ball by Asante. Here we are right here. Clay Webb, look at Clay. We put Clay in there at nose guard and just makes a huge play. And they say it's an incomplete pass, but it's really a fumble. Here we are right here. They're trying to sneak one in right here late in the game. We hold them out. Here we are punting. Once again, Jack does a good job punting right here. And then they fumble the punt return. So it's 37-3, and we probably can try to put one in if we want to, but we don't. We take the high road and keep it 37-3. And boy, what a great night. Great job by our football team.
And Oxford notches another win in the I-20 rivalry with the Pell City Panthers. More importantly, clinch a region championship, 9-0 on the season, 7-0 in region play. Coach, let's take a look at the individual player awards for this week.
This week, Air Jacket Award goes to Hareem Averett. He's been getting that a lot here lately. Racehorse, as usual, Titus Lindsay. Highest grade defensive line, Matthew Muncher. Matthew's playing at a high level right now. Highest grade offensive line, Josh Thomas. Josh, is not the biggest guy in the world, but he has got a big heart. Special Teams Award, Braylon Gadsden. Braylon really has been getting down on kickoff and making plays and helped cause the fumble this week. So I felt he was overdue getting that award. Most hits, Kenny Brick, Kendall McCollum. They tied for 10 solos each. Meanest jacket, Jordan Swain. You saw Jordan making plays out there. Jordan's really coming into what we thought he could be. Game breaker, Abe Peoples had to call a touchdown, ran a touchdown, threw a touchdown. He did it about every way you can. Takeaway this week, Brody Sire. I can't remember exactly, but I think he was in on or a part of 5 caused or turnovers himself. Hammer Award, Jordan Swain. I thought Kenny was going to get it, but I think the coaches thought that Jordan had the most hammers Friday night. Pride Award to Nico Tanner. Did a great job all week of working in practice with a good attitude. So proud to Nico this week.
All right, congratulations to those individual players for the Pell City game. We'll take a break and come back and talk about how Oxford will spend the open week, the final regular season matchup with Sumter Central. We'll also have our player spotlight as we continue on Jacket Vision. And we're back on Jacket Vision. Time now for our player spotlight. This week, the spotlight falls on junior Jordan Swain, who plays on the defense in the secondary for the Yellow Jackets, also plays special teams, can play running back, pretty much a do-everything type of player for Coach Herring. Here's Chase Robinson with more on Jordan Swain.
Oxford's Jordan Swain, number 8 in this video, has made the move from offense to defense and can play anywhere on the field, which has been a huge help to the Yellow Jackets this season.
Jordan's just that guy that comes over. He play on offense, he can play on defense. He really can play any position. He plays corner, he plays rover, he plays free safety. He goes over and plays fullback, he plays running back. He's that guy. I guess in baseball they call him the utility player, but Jordan Swain's just a leader and just a hard worker for us.
Safety is a big role on defense, I believe. Alternate. I used to play offense and defense, but now I think I'm gonna finish defense or safety. So playing safety. It's a big role, knowing what you got to do, how to do it, and where to be at the right time.
This is only his second season in a Yellow Jacket uniform. After a tough beginning, the transition has been great for Swain at Oxford.
At first it was tough. It was hard to make a big move to Oxford from a 1A to a 6A, but over time I did good and worked on becoming or working like these other guys to be able to play on that level.
For Jacket Vision, I'm Chase Robinson.
Coach, I kind of see what you were telling me at the beginning of the year, because I was wondering, when you take guys like Brody Sire and Jordan Swain and you put them on defense, I'm going, okay, what's happening on offense? But then guys like Abe and Titus, the way they played, it enables you to put guys like that on defense. So now it all makes sense. Jordan Swain, talk about him.
Well, we added those guys to defense, and because if you can't stop people, it's just hard to win, especially when you're playing good people. You got to play good defense, to beat good people, or you got to try to outscore people every week, and I've never been a fan of that. But Jordan is an unbelievable team player. We've asked him to do almost everything you can do this year. He's ran the ball. He's been a wing back. He's been a receiver on offense. On defense, he's been a cornerback. Friday night he played cornerback because we had to shuffle some people around because of injuries. He's been a safety, a strong safety. He's been a free safety. Last year he was an outside linebacker. There's not many places he hadn't played, and every time we ask him to do something, all he does is do it. He doesn't ask why. He doesn't ask this, that, or the other. He just does it. He is a team football player. He's a great kid. He's always got a smile ready. And the kids that smile a lot, I like. I like kids who have good attitudes. I don't like being around grumpy kids and entitled kids, and Jordan's not one of those. Whatever we're doing that day at practice or that day in the weight room, he does it, and he does it hard. He's got great parents. He's been raised right, and that's another thing that helps. When you've got two parents in the home and they do a good job of raising these boys, they're a lot easier to coach. It makes my job a lot easier. So, I'm just blessed to be able to coach him. I'm blessed to be at Oxford right now and have those kind of players on the team.
All right, and let's take a look at what's ahead now for the Yellow Jackets after wrapping up their region championship last week. And here's a look at the 6A Region 7 standings. And Coach, let's just enjoy that for a moment. 6-0 in the region, 9-0 overall. Clearly the region champs, number 1 seed as you head into the playoffs, which means you'll host a 4 seed from the region you match up with in the first round. Now, we mentioned that Oxford is off this week, and then you'll wrap up the regular season on October the 28th at home at Lamar Field against 1-8 Sumter Central. An opportunity to wrap up a perfect regular season, which has been a few years since Oxford has accomplished that, and then get ready for the playoffs, Coach. So talk about how you're going to spend the next week or so.
Well, this week right now, basically we want to get healed up and get rested up, and we'll bring them in, and we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we'll come back in on Sunday like we normally do every week, come in on Sunday. And then it'll be regular practice as normal for Sumter Central. and then we'll be back in our regular routine. And then, of course, that next week playoff starts. So hopefully we're going to be fresh when we rested up. Some guys who are banged up and have some injuries, maybe they can get healed up and be 100% by the time playoffs get here. But the main thing is right now, since we got a week off, is to take care of us. Anything we need to work on to get us better and improve us, we need to worry about Oxford mainly right now. We're not worried about Sumter Central at all. We just want to take care of some of the things that we got to do better. And there's things we can improve on. Like we got a touchdown call back the other night because we're blocking 30 yards behind the ball. That's not a well-coached team right there. That's making dumb mistakes. That, if that happened in the playoffs in a close game, then that could lose a game for you. So we've got to clean up some of those mental errors. Otherwise, you won't last long in the playoffs if you don't play smart. So there's some things we're going to be doing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it's mostly housekeeping stuff. We'll still lift and run, but it won't be real physical practices. In the past, in open weeks, where at places I've coached, it was a bloodletting, and we really worked on blocking and tackling. I think right now we're blocking and tackling okay. We don't have to kill them this week on blocking and tackling. We just got to work on some of the little things that we've got to get better on for the playoffs.
Coach, I mentioned you'll go in as a 1 seed. You'll be at home. I think you match up in the first round against someone from the northwest part of the state. Do you know yet how that is sorted out?
Well, that region up there is all 4 teams are tight. They're all 4 the same. You have Decatur, Austin, Muscle Shoals, Hartselle, and I've got some buddies up in that region, and they say they're all neck and neck. 1 is as good as 4, 4 is as good as 1. So whoever you get, you're going to get a tough game first round. And, you wish you were getting a 4 who maybe was definitely a 4. Well, that region doesn't have a definite 4. They're not going to know who 1 or 4 is until after Friday night. So it's going to be a tough opponent. It's not going to be a normal 4 because I think right now Austin and Decatur are tied for first. And Bud, if Muscle Shoals beats Decatur Friday night, that they could be first. And depending on what Austin does in Hartselle. So it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
It's not like this region. Their region is 4 tough teams that are all tight, and it won't be decided until Friday night.
By the way, we'll take next week off since Oxford is off. Then we'll rejoin you the following week after the Sumter Central game as we get ready for the playoffs. So hope you'll join us then right here on our next edition of Jacket Vision.